Yo, what is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is a random broadcast, but we should be live on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble, and in a second, Rockfin whenever they catch up. Yeah, we're good on Rockfin too. So we're live right now on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. And for all of my Telegram people, I'm actually about to post it right now in the Telegram so y'all know what's going on. Y'all make sure y'all like this video. Make sure you share this video. And if you are here for the very first time, make sure you subscribe. Help us get back to 50,000. Help us get back. We're trying to make that steady climb back to 50,000 subscribers. Shout out to our girl, Sabby, by the way, who just hit 100K. Which is nuts, but well-deserved. Sorry, I'm trying to share too. Y'all, this is literally, so I was recording for Hotspot, right? And my phone starts blowing up, and I'm like, yo, I can't stop recording. I don't know what's going on. Because it was like a complicated topic. I'm gonna talk about it today, actually, on the show. But like, I didn't have time to actually prepare the show. Like, I prepared the show, so we're gonna look at everything that I got, but we also gonna discover some stuff together because I didn't even have time to put together a thumbnail. Because right after I got done recording for Hotspot, I'm like, yo, they just said that Israel was part of the reason that they crashed the helicopter before Iran. Oh, shit. Netanyahu's calling an emergency meeting because the ICJ said he got to stop what he's doing right now. Oh, like, bro, it was just like, okay, I guess I'm doing the show today. I wasn't really going to do a show today because, baby been acting crazy. But right now he's letting me. We had a conversation. Me and my baby boy had a conversation. He's letting me get away with doing a little show today. We'll see if it lasts. But so we'll do our quick shout outs and get this show on the road. Robbie Burns, what's going on? Check. Mark Johnson, what's going on? DJ Longwan. Now, DJ Longwan. Now, you know. I hope you're talking about your money. Because that's inappropriate. Earl of Laurel. What's going on? By the way, for those of you who, matter of fact, let me make sure that link is active. Y'all do me a favor. I need to make sure that this link for Diane is active. If not, I got to put the real one. So for those of you who have already donated to Diane's campaign, I greatly appreciate it because I need to update that link. Okay, cool. Give me a second, y'all. I need to put this link in here because it's very important. For those of you who have been following, you know that I'm doing a fundraiser alongside. I'm the one pushing it the most because I'm the one with the platform. But members of my community here in Brazil are raising money for a young woman named Diane, who was unfortunately sold into slavery. Or not slavery. I mean, no, effectively it was slavery. I hate to, say it like that, but yeah, it was slavery. She was sold into slavery at 13 years old by her mom for land. And basically, from the moment she was sold, the old man who bought her forcibly impregnated her multiple times. She has 5 kids now. She actually tried to get her tubes tied. I think it was a hysterectomy. But basically, she tried to get her tubes tied. She talked to the doctor about it. For some dumb reason, the doctor decided it would be a great idea to tell the guy who has been beating the hell out of her. And he did what you would expect him to do. He beat the hell out of her when she tried to prevent herself from getting pregnant again. So her story is extremely sad. Unfortunately, hers is probably on the extreme end, but I also learned, like I said in my last show, the Jamu, that this selling kids at a young age for parents in the what they call in Brazil interior. So like the rural country cities and states where like you don't really see that much tourism. Selling kids is actually not that uncommon. Now the way that this went was crazy because she almost got killed. You can, if you see the photo and you click on the GoFundMe link, you can still see the marks on her face. So like it was bad. So by the time she turned 25, she already had 5 kids. So if you can do the math on that, clearly she wasn't of age when she started having her first kid. Her first kid is about 11 years old. So it's a sad situation, but we're doing all we can. We're doing all we can to help. She's in good spirits right now because she got out of that city. She's gotten a lot of help along the way. She got help when she arrived here. And luckily, I told her I was bragging about y'all before we get the show on the road. But I was bragging about y'all. I was like, yo, if y'all are okay with it, and I talked to her about it first, I say, my audience is the best. When it comes to anytime that they've seen somebody in need, they step up immediately, like without question. You just gotta let them know what you need, and they'll do whatever they can to help you. And once again, y'all have not proved me wrong. Y'all have not made me into a liar. The goal was $2,000. We're at more than that by a long shot. Let me see. 1,500. No, we're not more than that. It's even more than halfway by a long shot. $1,590 have been raised in about 24 to 36 hours. So I really, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, and I cannot tell you how much she appreciates this because it's life-changing stuff for her. Like I said on my last stream when I was telling y'all about it, $2,000 is not a lot. Hell, in the States, you'll be lucky if $2,000 pays your rent, to be honest with you. But here in Brazil, the reason I didn't have to set like a large goal is because here in Brazil, $2,000 can feed her family. Like 2,000 American dollars can feed her family, help her buy the essentials for her house, buy clothes for her kids, and make sure that she has her bills paid for like 2-3 months, right? And so she's involved in psychology to get her mental state back in order because, as you can imagine, what I'm saying? We've all been through trauma, but there's some trauma that's a little bit different. And that type of trauma, because not only are you dealing with the trauma of being with that abusive man, but, the trauma of your mom being the one to sell you to him, that's a lot. And the fact that, and for those of you who are wondering, like, wow, did the mom know what was happening? Yeah, she actually was aware of it and tried to convince her to stay. So that's a different level of trauma. So she's going through that, trying to acclimate to society. She can't read yet. So there's that process, trying to just prepare her to be normal as she possibly can in a society where she has to figure out how to raise 5 kids now. So it's a process. We're just trying to give her as much cushion as humanly possible to do so. So if you want to help with that process, you can donate, help us reach our goal of $2,000. The link is in the description. I just updated it to make sure that it was right. And I appreciate you guys that have already been sharing the link and donating. Y'all dope. Once again, I had confidence. I was like, look, I know that y'all can do some stuff here, but if y'all let me talk to my audience, they always step up. Y'all have never let me down. Literally never when it comes to helping somebody in raising mutual aid. So I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. For real, for real. You have somebody that said, I have no context for this. Who am I? It's a Brazilian woman here in my neighborhood. Her name is Diane. And that's her name. So that's the context of it. And her story is in the GoFundMe link. So if you go to the GoFundMe link, you can actually read this, the majority of the story. I can't reveal like everything about her life because it's unsafe still. But the majority of the story, the important parts are there. So really appreciate you guys. With that being said, I do want to go ahead and get this show on the road because what the hell? What is going on today? I don't know. Where do y'all want to start? Let me ask the chat where y'all want to start. Do y'all want to start at the helicopter crash? Do y'all want to start with the ICJ ruling? Or do y'all want to start with Elon Musk selling y'all soul to Israel? Because I mean, all three of the topics are Israel topics. So we'll see if I even make it out of the stream with my YouTube channel by the end of this. So I got some votes for the crash. I got one vote for the crash. Well, that was fast. Victor was on it. He said crash immediately. CJ Fu. Fu, como você está falando português com um nome que parece como você é de Vietnã? Mas eu estou bem, tudo certo, tudo bom. O meu filho está me deixando muito estressado, mas, coisas acontecem. I got to vote for the ICJ. I got to vote for the crash. I'm thinking about going crash first. I really am. Because I got like a lot I want to say about that. So I think I might go with the crash first. So let me pull this up for you guys. Because I'm going to pull this up for you guys. It is an Israeli source that is claiming. What's always crazy about these stories is like with the Apache helicopters, the Apache helicopters that were responsible for killing a lot of Israelis during October 7th, or like the RAPE stories being debunked by Israeli media first. Like people debunk those stories using Israeli media, Israeli police data, et cetera, et cetera. And this is another one of those situations where Israeli media might be doing them in again. So y'all make sure to go follow Hotspot. I'm gonna put this up for you guys. But y'all make sure to go follow Hotspot. All right, we're here. Oh, CJ, you took Portuguese in college. Too damn hard, bro. It's crazy. At my university, everybody actually took Portuguese instead of Spanish. So UNC is actually known for their language classes, and Spanish is actually the hardest school in the country to try to major in Spanish is actually UNC for whatever reason. I don't know why. So everybody actually tries to do Portuguese instead. That's where all the athletes go. And after the first year, like Portuguese 101, like they don't come back. They're like, oh, we thought it was going to be easier, but for some reason the words on the page are not looking like what you're saying. And so they end up leaving and just taking their chances with Spanish or Swahili, which was a whole different thing. I don't know what. There was a whole Swahili wave at UNC for a while. So as y'all can see here, there's a bombshell. Israeli security source confirms that Mossad downed the Iranian President Raisi's helicopter, killing him and Iran's foreign minister in the process. Yeah, man, this is a pretty big deal. If this is true, so this is from May 22nd, 2024, but it was written overseas. So what, maybe yesterday for a lot of us. This is huge because I don't know if y'all are aware, but there has been a lot of people talking about the inconsistency, like the black box wasn't on. Like no one put out an SOS or called for a Mayday as the helicopter was supposedly going down. The other two helicopters didn't crash despite the weather. Hell, the information about the weather, like, helicopters and airplanes, they have all of these instruments where if something happens, you can tell everything that went wrong up until the moment of the crash and even after, right? That's what the black box is for. Black box apparently wasn't there or wasn't on, so they don't know. The slew of Iranian deaths in the last month and a half don't really help the situation, right? Doesn't really give Israel a lot of cover. Looks a little bit suspect. But then when you couple all that with the fact that Israel has kind of just been on this tear lately of threatening every world leader that challenges them regarding Gaza, and then these particular leaders, right? Because we're talking about the generals that got killed in Syria. One of those generals being in charge of the front on Syria, he was basically the highest ranking general with, I don't know if he had the exact same status as Soleimani, but he would have been like, he was the highest ranking general, so he's gone. The foreign minister, kind of important, considering that the majority of Iran's military affairs generally dealing with helping foreign countries prevent the imperialist aspirations of Western powers in Israel. Okay. Then the president goes down, and it's just like super coincidental. I don't know. Personally, I don't think that you should have had the president and the foreign minister on the same plane, but I get it that maybe they wanted to talk, but what are you going to talk about? It's a helicopter. It's not like you can hear. So I just think logistically that was a bad idea. You don't ever have two people that important on the same plane. It just doesn't look good for Israel. And then you have this source that comes out and straight up says Israel's Mossad downed Iranian's president's helicopter. A well-informed security source confirms it targeted Raisi. And it's written by Richard Silverstein. You know, it wasn't Muhammad who wrote this. It was a Steen. Okay, so that's all those moving parts don't really make it look better. But I kind of have a take that a lot of people, probably wouldn't have. Which is, hold on, let me matter of fact, do y'all want to, let me read the part of this article, and then I'm going to give y'all my take, because I don't think, necessarily speaking, that this is exactly Israel. I think Israel did the deed, but I don't think this was to primarily benefit Israel. I'm going to explain in a second. So, it's from the article. A Hezbollah-affiliated journalist, Elijah Magnier, has raised the possibility that Israel may have caused a crash which took the life of President Ebrahim Raisi and foreign minister and other high-level officials. Did the Iranian president's helicopter crash or get shot down? He did not make a definitive statement on the cause, but for a journalist closely allied with Iran to speculate that Israel may have caused a crash is a clear indication that Iran is taking this possibility seriously. Zoom in for y'all. Magnier's article did pique my interest, and I pursued the question with an Israeli security source. He confirmed that Israel was responsible. He used a phrase that duplicates almost word for word Israeli comments on previous assassinations. Any head of state ordering a massive Iranian missile drone attack on Israel several weeks ago. Oh, I think he's saying this may refer to, I skipped the line. That's on me. Any head of state ordering an attack on Israel signs his own death sentence. This may refer to the massive Iranian drone strike on Israel several weeks ago. Though Raisi probably played a secondary, if any, role in that, since Ayatollah Khamenei, I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong, Khamenei would approve such a sensitive operation. Basically saying that the president wouldn't actually have the authority to order that. It would have had to go through the Ayatollah. Noted Israeli security analyst Amir Rappaport writes in Israel's leading defense publication, the circumstances regarding their helicopter crash are reminiscent of countless assassinations. For example, known methods of the Mexican drug cartels, which similarly killed tens of people over the years. This raises the question, was the hand of the Mossad connected to the event, since other helicopters departed on this flight from Azerbaijan, good God, Azerbaijan to Iran unscathed? That's a big, I mean, that's a pretty big, bro. That's a big deal. I mean, it's not really a surprise to anybody, I guess, because we were all like, let's hear about the oh, there's fog, and everybody's like, well, if there's fog and the helicopters were following closely together, why is it only that copter that went down? And the unfortunate reality is Mossad is deeply embedded in Iran. They're like, it's well known that because, I mean, hell, is there a country that Israel has interest in that the Mossad isn't deeply embedded? I guess it would be a better question. But Iran specifically, they are deeply embedded within the country. So this isn't, once again, 100% for certain. So I want to be clear about that. Don't go around saying, Niko said. No, I'm saying that now you got alleged security forces concurring that, hey, this is a good possibility. And I mean, I expected that. That was my assumption until otherwise proven. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it isn't actually Israel that's behind it. The Mossad carried it out, but the U.S. is kind of incompetent. And whenever they need something done, but done correctly and done quietly and done in such a way that the U.S. keeps their hands off of it, at least in the eyes of the rest of the world, well, they call their good friends Mossad. Why would the U.S. guys, do I have to explain the relationship between the United States and Iran over the last, 2 decades, but especially the last 10 years? The United States has been trying to do what since the moment, like they've been trying to overthrow Iran. They've been trying to overthrow Iran. Remember, what did Trump come out and say? Trump came out and said what? John Bolton wanted to use the Libya model to overthrow Iran's government. He made it clear multiple times that multiple people tried to overthrow Iran, that multiple people within his administration wanted to overthrow Iran's government. I don't believe it was really Trump. I think that Trump just ended up having to take the credit or the blame, however you look at it, for Soleimani. But it was his administration that assassinated Soleimani. So now you fast forward, Israel strikes the Iranian consulate in Syria, killing those generals. But that's actually a play out of U.S.'s handbook. But we can't do that twice. Now, if we do that twice, that's a problem. But hey, Iran, Israel's kind of just doing this thing and getting away with it. They already got all this heat on them. It makes perfect sense. And they already bombed Syria without consequence anyway. So what's one more bomb dropped? But just make sure this time it's dropped on the generals, just like the U.S. just did. And then coincidentally, this helicopter crash with the foreign minister and the president also happens. Now, here's why I think this is not necessarily Israel's plan coming into action, but instead the plan of the United States. Because do y'all know what happens in June? Iran, if I'm not mistaken, let me verify, but I'm pretty sure Iran, if I'm not mistaken, has to hold elections. I believe the first round of elections was actually, did you know? Yeah. They have to hold elections June 28th. So it says here, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up for you guys. Um, so as you can see here, Iranian presidential election to be held on June 28th after deadly helicopter crash. Decision to hold 14th presidential elections come after the death of the late president, Raisi, in a helicopter crash. Iran on Monday declared that it would hold an early presidential election on June 28th following the death of President Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash. According to state-run news agency IRNA, the announcement of the date for the country's 14th presidential elections come after a meeting between the heads of the judicial, executive, and legislative authorities. Candidate registrations will begin on May 30th. The report said, adding that campaigning would take place from June 12th through June 27th. Raisi was returning from the inauguration ceremony of a dam on the Iran-Azerbaijan border on Sunday when the crash took place, according to Iranian state broadcasters. The crash also resulted in the deaths of Iranian Foreign Affairs Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian. I'm gonna go with Abdollahian, as well as that of Malik Ramedi, the governor of East Azerbaijan province. Oh wow, did not know that. So Mohammed Makhbar, Iran's first vice president, was appointed as acting president Monday after Raisi's death. So, given the United States history, in Iran, what do they usually like to do in these situations? They like to coup. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They like to coup people. So you take out the general, you got in Soleimani. Now he can't step up because obviously he's not here. Soleimani was well liked. He was not well liked. Soleimani was adored. Okay. Raisi wasn't, he was, I think it was like a 38%, 40% approval rating. But like, even with Raisi, they couldn't, people knew like maybe you didn't like his domestic policies, but like, yeah, we're not about to let y'all choose for us. Because Iranians have a lot of voter apathy. So there's that. That's important to remember. But voter apathy isn't the same thing as we're going to let the United States choose our president. So you got all this chaos happening in Iran because of what's going on between Iran and Israel, because of what happened with the bombing in Syria, and then boom. Like, this happens. So now you got a forced election. And the thing about Iranian elections, as they said here, you don't actually have a lot of time to make your case. It's a very limited period. So now we're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see who gets put up, how Iranian media feels about him, how Middle Eastern media in general feels about whoever they decide to put up. But if it looks to me that this would be a country that is ripe for overthrowing. And if you have a fear that the biggest threat to Israel right now in the Middle East, it is Iran. Everybody knows this. They just showed their capability. They like just bombarded them with a bunch of old rockets Israel didn't even know they had. They know that Hamas is reliant on the help, not only Hamas, but resistance factions across the Middle East, including in Syria. They're reliant on the help of Iran and the coordination of Iran. Right now, I'm pretty sure they really can't coordinate much because they have, everything. There's no way that you lose multiple generals, your president, and your foreign affairs minister, and everything is just copacetic. That's just not how politics or chain of command works. And you're trying to, and you're limited in what you can do if you're the current president who's acting, because everybody knows that you might not be the president. So you can't really act. Maybe you can maintain to some degree, but you can't really act. You can't make definitive decisions. So this works out actually great for both Israel, works out for the United States, and it gives the United States an opportunity to do what they love to do in Iran, which is overthrow their government during transitions of power. This is US 101. I mean, this is this is CIA 101. This is CIA playbook, the first page. Overthrow government when their country is in chaos and there is transitions of power. And now you have created a massive power vacuum in the matter of just 2 months. And this is what they do. This is not unfamiliar territory for the United States or Israel. But once again, if you can smell the United States, you could probably pinch them aside, because they work hand in hand at this point. So that's my theory. I don't know the danger of it. Will it be successful? I don't know, honestly. I truly do not know enough about who they are considering to know if it will be success. And I guess that's kind of the danger of it, is because they don't have enough time. We won't know until the 30th. And then on top of that, they don't have that much time to campaign. So we basically going to have to get a crash course real fast to figure out what's going on, and hope that people can get the information fast enough to expose if the United States is involved in a propaganda campaign to try and overthrow Iran's government. Because if Israel is going to survive in any capacity, if the United States needs Israel to survive in that region, whoever they put in next has to be at the very minimum, not apathetic, but reserved in their approach on how they deal with Israel. But with the current, before he passed away, with the current president, current foreign affairs minister, before he passed away, like, you knew where they stood with Israel. And then we all knew it was a matter of time before shit went crazy. So with the assassination of all of them and the transition of power, you buy Israel a lot more time. And you buy yourself, as the United States, a lot more time as well. And you force an election, because they don't know if Biden's going to be president. They don't know. There's a good chance that Trump might win. And Trump is unpredictable. We don't know what Trump's going to do. We all know that. If there's one thing we know about Trump, is we know he is unpredictable as hell. We already know that the globalists don't really like relying on unpredictability. So if they're going to try something, they're like, we got to do something now. And because of the turnaround, June, if what I'm saying is true, and once again, I'm just basing this off of history and patterns and the info that we just got. If what I'm saying is true, they could have somebody that they help elect in power in Iran by the end of June. That would change everything. That changes relations with Russia. That changes everything, and not in a good way. It's like giving a lifeline to the empire if that happens. Oh, man. So I really hope that this is not the case, bro. I really do. I really hope that they didn't assassinate him. I hope that the Mossad isn't involved. Because if the Mossad is involved, I'm almost 100% positive it was really the U.S. I mean, it's like with Ukraine, right? When anything dumb happens in Ukraine, like, why would y'all do something like that? U.S. told them to. U.S. facilitated it. U.S. gave them the weapons to do it. So, now for this next thing, the next topic we're going to discuss, which is a little bit crazier, in a good way, though. in a good way. The ICJ got some things to say. It turns out they are just not rocking with Netanyahu no more, bro. They're tired of letting it slide. And the ICJ has officially ordered. It said, this is Al Jazeera, by the way. ICJ orders Israel to halt its offensive on Rafah, Gaza in new ruling. Judges at the top United Nations court order Israel to immediately halt its military assault on the southern city of Rafah. Judges at the top of the UN court ordered Israel to halt its offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah and withdraw from the enclave. In a case brought by South Africa accusing Israel of genocide, citing immense risk to the Palestinian population. Friday's decision marked the third time this year that the 15-judge panel has issued preliminary orders seeking to rein in the death toll and alleviate humanitarian suffering in Gaza. While orders are legally binding, the court has no police to enforce them. Reading out a ruling by the International Court of Justice or World Court, the body's president, Nawaf Salam, said provisional measures ordered by the court in March did not fully address the situation in the besieged Palestinian enclave now, and conditions had been met for a new emergency order. Israel must immediately halt its offensive and any other action in Rafah governorate. Don't ask me how to say that word. Governorate. We're just gonna go with that. Which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that could bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, Salam said, and called the humanitarian situation in Gaza disastrous. So, that's some pretty big news. It's pretty big news. Now, like, y'all know how I feel about it. My first question usually is like, okay, and if they don't, what happens next? The problem is now is that this order comes down after the ICC warrants get requested for Netanyahu and his cabinet, right? And then beyond that, if it was just the ICC warrants, most of us probably be like, yeah, whatever. But the problem is, which caught us all off guard, Germany was like, yeah, man, go get that guy. Go get him. Yeah, man, we support these warrants. Okay, wasn't expecting that. And then Belgium was like, yeah, man, us too. We go get him. Sure, for sure. He can't go to Belgium. He can't go to Germany. Oh, in France. France even was like, yeah, nah, man, yeah, for sure, go get him. So now, 3 of your biggest allies in Western Europe have all told you, and by the way, 3 of your allies in Western Europe that are part of the EU, and therefore you now, not only can you not step foot in those countries because all 3 of those countries have made it clear that they will arrest you, but because of them being part of the EU, their extradition, what do they call it? I don't remember. They call it something. I can't remember what they call it in the States officially, but basically when you cooperate with other countries or other states, when it comes to arresting, processing, any type of felony, anything like that. So they have laws where, like, if you go to one country that does have this relationship with France, they can extradite you because France has made it clear that they're going to arrest you if you show up. Because Belgium has made it clear. Because Germany has made it clear. You get what I'm saying? Which is crazy, man, because, you know, a lot of us love to say, like, yo, man, go back to Europe. But now we can't even say it to Netanyahu. Netanyahu can't go back to Europe. That boy gonna get arrested. He ain't leaving Israel. He is not leaving Israel. Netanyahu is kind of freaked out right now. He called an emergency meeting. Like, why? My thing is, we are looking at it. We're in a time right now. Usually when stuff like this happens, it's hard to it's hard to talk about because you don't know, like, why are we even talking about it? Yeah, I'm glad that y'all know that genocide is a bad thing, but Israel doesn't react. The Western world, Western superpowers don't react. The United States doesn't react, right? So it's hard to have hope in the process when you don't have a police force, and then Israel feels like they can escape accountability so much so that they act like they don't even hear you. How long has the UN have had members speak out against Israel and like they're like, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever, yeah, okay, yeah, genocide, whatever, apartheid, yeah, whatever. But now they're actually having to react, and for the first time, we're actually seeing Western powers come out and support the prosecution of, or the potential prosecution rather, of Netanyahu and multiple members of his cabinet. Now, obviously, this is definitely like for Germany, who helped provide weapons to Israel, for France, who also helped provide weapons to Israel, in Belgium. I mean, God's sakes, Belgium is literally there. I mean, I guess they would be the experts in genocide, considering they committed one of the greatest genocides ever in Congo. Was it Congo? Yeah, well, I believe it was Congo. But they're covering their ass. They're seeing where this is going, and it's not looking good. But for me, the interesting component of this is you do know this is going to piss off the United States. I mean, hell, you have U.S. Congress people openly threatening anyone who supports the ICC arrest warrant. They openly threaten them. So, like, knowing that this is going to piss off the United States, Macron in France, in Germany, in Belgium, NATO powers, they all decided to support this warrant and are saying they're gonna arrest Netanyahu and his people anyway. Sometimes your house is not a home. Seems like we got a house divided. Yeah, like they all living in the same house, but maybe they're not on the same page anymore. And for our purposes, when everyone's not on the same page, it's because somebody's self-interests have come into play. In other words, someone has made the decision. You know what, y'all? I know that we supposed to be loyal to the United States, right? I know that, but hear me out. How much power do they really got? I mean, if Israel gets taken out, I mean, that's all the information they're the ones who got the information on us. Netanyahu the one who got everything. So, like, if they arrest all of them, maybe, just maybe, this information never goes public, They have you have to remember, these world leaders have a lot of incentive to want Netanyahu gone and to some degree to want Israel gone. And if they can do so in a way where they keep their hands clean, so like you like, nah, man, don't release, you can't release anything about me. I'm not prosecuting you. That's them. I want to see, so because like I said, all this information just dropped. I want to see if there's any news, or any video comments or anything like that about the ICJ rule and what Israel plans to do about it. Give me 1 second. You know what's crazy, y'all? You know what sucks? Being in Brazil, they be trying to show me some bull. So censorship is kind of bad here in Brazil. I'm sure y'all have learned. But it's bad. Like, they'll show me when I'm trying to look up a topic. I have to use a VPN damn near all the time because when I'm trying to look up recent information about a topic, they basically show me information from like 3 weeks ago every time. At the earliest is a few days ago, but usually it's like weeks. There's some guys we haven't shared the news yet, but the World Court. Oh, wow. So apparently, the response from Israel is exactly what we expected it to be. Let me pull this up for you guys. Because y'all know the ICJ is a body of the UN. So this was after the ruling. Now, Israel bombing the UN school in Rafah. Response to the ICJ decision. And I agree with her. She says, understand this, Israel can only be stopped by force. Bro, that's crazy. Tell me that y'all get told to stop. And that is your response? That's crazy. Not only does it look like you're a fucking immature 2-year-old lashing out when someone's trying to discipline you, but what's crazy to me is the like, ain't nobody gonna do anything about it. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe Iran would do something about it, but they can't because they're dealing with what they're dealing with. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna come next. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. But I do know that we can just go ahead and expect Israel to not follow that order. So like I just want to be clear about that. We can expect them to not follow the order. We do know also, however, this will be, if they ignore this order, given all the evidence that has been presented, okay, if they ignore this order, they're not helping their case with the ICC. They're already ignoring a subpoena. And if they're not helping their case with the ICC, they're probably going to have more countries turn on them. What have I said, bro? I've been saying I said, yo, I think this is it for Israel. I've been saying that. I've been saying for a while, I don't see how Israel recovers from any of this. Because at a certain point, self-interest kick in. Like, I'm not saying that these countries are pro-Palestine. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is, at a certain point, the leaders of these countries start thinking, man, shit, bro, is it really worth it? I'm not trying to go down with this shit. I'm curious to know what y'all think about that. Like, do y'all not believe? Because I firmly believe like the only consistent pattern I've ever seen when it comes to the world and world leaders is like I hate to say it, any leader that will like take a payoff, any corrupt leader that will accept APAC money, whatever, any of them. The one consistent thing that we can guarantee is that they're gonna look out for themselves. They are cowards who will look out for themselves. And eventually, the chickens come home to roost. And if I got an election coming up, which a lot of countries do have elections coming up, actually, this Gaza situation is a losing. If you're on the wrong side of it, it's a losing. Or you're not going to win it. There's nothing you can do. You can support Gaza, you can support Palestinians, you can call out genocide, you can call out Zionism, or you can lose. Unless you're just one of those people who are experts at rigging elections, which happens, okay. But you're going to lose your like most of these countries in Western Europe, like they know they're going to lose their election. Because they're dealing with a two-pronged situation. The same politicians who support the war in Ukraine, support those countries sending European money to Ukraine. You know, those same countries that are right by Russia and don't want to get, nuked into oblivion. Those same politicians from those countries also support Zionism and the assault on Gaza. How you gonna win on two losing issues? I'm genuinely curious. At a certain point, survival instincts kick in, and you got to be like, yo, man, I ain't got shit to do with this. Let's let the U.S. and Israel figure this out, because this ain't got nothing to do with me. That's genuinely how I feel. A lot of countries are going about handling this particular situation, because you just at a certain point, survival instincts kick in, bro. That's just all I got to say about that. Did y'all hear about Elon and his little verification thing? Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up for y'all. Oh, it's gonna be kind of hard. I think I can. Give me a second. I need to show y'all all this. Elon and this verification process is wild. Elon being Elon, y'all. That's all. Y'all know I can't stand him. I really can't stand him because it's one of those situations where I'm always trying to help people see the facts when it comes to Elon, and nobody wanted to listen. And I kept saying, y'all, like, Elon is a piece of shit. Like, why do y'all keep falling for it? He's a billionaire. You don't get to be that. You don't get to be at one point the richest man in the world, technically speaking, like at least on paper. And you're not doing the bidding of the empire. And whenever Elon put that yarmulke on after that visit to Israel, everybody should know what time it was. We knew it. Whatever was happening next, there was going to be a ramp up when it comes to censorship, when it comes to whatever when it comes to selling out people who are pro-Palestine. We already have examples of this because Zuckerberg is a rabid Zionist, and he was literally shutting down accounts or giving Israel the information of Palestinians who have Facebook accounts so that Israel could go deal with them. Y'all remember? So this is the new policy for Twitter, guys. Mr. Free Speech. Updated eligibility criteria. We're making changes to our creator subscriptions and ad revenue share programs to further promote authenticity and fight fraud on the platform. Starting today, all new creators must verify their ID to receive payouts. All existing creators must do so by July 1st, 2024. So to put that into context for some of you who may not get, y'all might not have any experiences with the payouts. If you already had to use your ID before to verify yourself if you are a premium user. And you had to use your ID to verify yourself before if you, because you couldn't receive ad revenue. Once that program started, you couldn't receive ad revenue without being premium. So yeah, if you became premium user, you had to verify yourself, whatever. However, a lot of people weren't reliant at all on ad revenue. They actually just have a big subscriber base and they host spaces. Back whenever subscriptions became a thing, you didn't have to be verified. And as long as your account met a certain criteria, you didn't have to show your ID. The reason why is because you receive your payments for your subscriptions through Stripe. Most of you all know that's like basically a payment processing website. Stripe has its own verification process. So you didn't need to verify anything with Twitter because they were using the third party to verify. So it isn't like these like you couldn't steal somebody's money. I'm gonna put it like that because Stripe was already. So now everybody receiving any amount of money has to verify their identity using a government ID. Who will be processing these IDs? It'll be hard for you to see here, but this says all 10 ticks. Isn't that just really creative? Don't y'all love it? It's super creative. All 10 ticks is an Israeli company. I know, oh my God, I can't believe it. We're all so surprised. They're an Israeli company, and I hate to break it to a lot of y'all, but I know a lot of people are outraged by this particular company having your information, and they are in Israel. I want to be clear. So, it's not like they have to abide by U.S. laws, which is a whole different thing. But I know we're mad. Like, a lot of people are upset. They should be. But a lot of y'all should have started being upset a long time ago, because they work with PayPal. So if you've used PayPal since roughly 2018, 2019, this company already has your information. They work with LinkedIn. So if you've used LinkedIn since roughly 2018, 2019, they have your information. If you've used eToro Investments, they already have your information. Here's a kicker, unfortunately. Coinbase. So everybody on Coinbase, do y'all remember, like, out of nowhere, they just started making you do like this OD verification? Coinbase did? Yeah. Well, that's the company doing the ID verification, the same one. And if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of coincidental, or rather ironic, that Elon, who was one of the PayPal founders, if I'm not mistaken, got one of the companies that processes PayPal stuff. So, like, I just don't believe that's a coincidence at all. It gets worse. So the alumni of this unit 8200 in Israel started this. There are some alumni got together, said, "Man, let's just start this company, and we're going to stay in Israel, but somehow we're going to manage companies, some of the largest tech companies in the world that are based in the United States." I don't know how everybody found out about us, but they're just that good. I guess they just got lucky like that. This unit 8200 is an Israeli intelligence unit that specializes in things like cyber warfare, surveillance, things like that. Actually, it's the most important intelligence unit in all of Israel. So when I say they're alumni of this unit, I don't actually mean that. I actually don't believe that they're alumni. I believe, like the CIA, like, you don't really quit the CIA. Like, you're just an unofficial asset. You go from being an official asset to an unofficial asset. You don't quit being a snitch for the FBI. You're just, on vacation from being a snitch for the FBI. It's like one of those situations. This particular unit is responsible. Let me see if I can find their page where it shows how many alumni. Bro, I'm gonna put it like this. This company is not lucky. I'm gonna put it like that. Yeah, but let me see if I can. Where are they at? There we go. So let me put this up for y'all. I found it. Like I said, I'm having to search some of this stuff because it was all this stuff kind of happened really fast. So y'all work with me. I appreciate y'all. This particular intelligence unit, the alumni, once again, I put that in quotations, founded all of these tech companies. All of them. Primarily cybersecurity, ID verification, things like that. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, Unit 8200, the alumni of Unit 8200, founded this little program that a lot of y'all might be familiar with. Do y'all remember Pegasus? Y'all remember that program? The same Pegasus program that was responsible for, at least bare minimum, spying on and targeting 50,000 journalists, activists, and military leaders across the world. Now, some people would probably complain and say, wow, why would Israel allow these alumni from this company to sell software and tools like this, knowing that they're dangerous? Because they weren't just selling it to the, like, they were selling this stuff, especially Pegasus specifically, to repressive governments. They were selling these tools to spy, to collect data, to surveil to repressive governments. Okay? Some people would say they should be complaining because why would you allow something like that? What do you mean allow something like that? That's a diplomatic strategy. Israel has somehow, they have these alumni that leave their most prized intelligence unit, that start companies where they're able to also somehow remain in Israel, and they get these magical investments, like the most recent investment, if I'm not mistaken, for Authenix, the company that's going to be verifying the IDs for Twitter, or really they've already started. They had like a $19 million investment, but like it's actually been completely self-funded from the beginning, which is unheard of for something like that, unless you're an Israeli company from this particular group. And they're able to get massive tech companies from Silicon Valley to trust them and hire them, knowing that those companies simultaneously are not beholden to U.S. law because they're not based in the United States at all. And this is the same Israel that we know loves to spy on, collect data, and blackmail world leaders. And they just so happen to be able to get access to stuff like Twitter. Think about it. You piss off the wrong person. We've seen how many Whitney Webb's PayPal got shut down. I think Jason Berman's PayPal got shut down. I mean, there's a lot of people whose PayPals got just shut down. A lot of pro-Palestinian activists, talking heads, journalists, whatever, got their PayPal shut down. So with the situation with Pegasus, for example, Pegasus was responsible for spying on, at least, that's just like a small list of 50,000 journalists, activists, world leaders. And yeah, they were spying on those world leaders. The people of those countries, the governments of those countries were spying on these leaders and these activists on behalf of the country. But all of the data goes back to who? To Israel, and more specifically, the Mossad. So with Authentics, okay, all the data that they collect from Twitter and PayPal and eToro, bro, I would never. That's crazy to allow. And Coinbase. Like, I'm glad I don't do transactions through Coinbase anymore. It's been a while. So, but like, yeah, even your financials go back to Israel. Now, what's crazy about all this is I remember, like, not even, I don't know, like a couple of weeks ago, they were like, we got to shut down TikTok. Why? Because it's a company, which is not true, but it's a company that's based in China, that in China can demand the data of every user on TikTok. And TikTok can't refuse. And that could be a national security risk if a foreign power could just gather data whenever they felt like it from a major social media company. What is it? What is this company then? I'm confused. Because they're in Israel. Not only are they in Israel, but they're literally, the company was founded by alumni from the most prominent intelligence unit in Israel. So I'm confused. What's the difference? The difference is it's almost a guarantee that they're giving this information to the Mossad. Hell, it's probably just a Mossad front company. And everybody's probably thinking to themselves, well, it's just, not everybody, but people who are apathetic or skeptical about the dangers of this, they're probably thinking, oh man, it's not even that big of a deal, dog. Like, I don't even make money on Twitter. Y'all, this is Elon Musk. What is the one consistent thing we know about Elon Musk, y'all? Whatever Elon says today has no bearing on what he will do tomorrow. He said X will be a free speech platform, and then immediately goes on to censor people. Hell, we still waiting on Garland Nixon to get his account back. Still, to this day. Kit, finally, Kit from the Gray Zone, he finally got his account back. Boy, you know how much of a process that was? And he didn't even say anything that warranted. And luckily, he is who he is. So he had so many people advocating on his behalf that it worked out. But like, Elon Musk is always talking about how it's boy, this man had the audacity the other day to say, yo, y'all, Twitter's a safe space for kids. Boy, I can't post a single goddamn tweet without a porn bot showing up. And you talk about, I gotta literally, when I'm scrolling through my tweets, checking, responding to people, I gotta make sure my kid is not looking at my phone because there's gonna be some random porn bot that shows up. No, Kit Clarenberg, not Kit from Heartlands. Anything that Elon says today, any promise that he makes today has zero bearing. No, damn that. It's almost, if he comes out and explicitly promises you something, you could guarantee it's going to be the opposite the next day. If not tomorrow, next week, it'll be the opposite. Whatever he says, just know he's going to break that promise. SpaceX is for tourism, for space tourism. Remember that? Oh, just kidding. We got a bunch of Pentagon contracts, and so we're actually just building a weapon system for them. That's what SpaceX is. Our bad. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. And people still fall for it. People still defend him. He's doing the best he can. I wasn't promised the best he can. He hired that trick, Yacarino, whatever her name is, knowing that she was an expert in censorship. Oh, but he's doing the best he can. I'm confused. She doesn't even have the experience to grow a company like that. Her only expertise are in censorship. But he's doing the best he can. I was not promised the best he can. I was promised free speech. We were promised. He's a free speech absolutist, right? That's what he always says. But no, once again, like I said, when he put that yarmulke on, we knew what time it was. We knew what time it was. He's sitting down with Ben Shapiro for what? He puts on that fake woke act because, or that fake anti-woke, even though he supports woke right-wing people all the time. But he puts on his fake anti-leftist and somewhat populist right act because he knows that the unfortunate truth is, he's like, yeah, there's a lot of hypocrites on that side. As long as I keep pretending I'm on their side, they'll ignore all this shit that I'm doing that directly conflict with the pathos and ethos I claim to embody. He knows that. He knows that they'll be like this. Elon's really cool, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I met him one time. Elon responded to my tweet, bro. Come on, bro. For real. Y'all really think that he doesn't know what's about to happen with this data? And do y'all really think that it's going to stay with it's just going to be people who are monetized that are going to have to submit their ID? No, since he's bought the platform, he's made it clear he wants people to verify their identities with IDs, knowing that in a lot of countries and a lot of situations, anonymity is actually important. I don't believe that you should be able to, like, if you're going around doing illegal stuff, then like, but we also know that there's ways to track you, so it doesn't even matter. If you're really doing something illegal to the point where you got to be found, arrested, and taken to court, there are legitimate ways to track you. But using a verification system that gives my data to Israel, gives my identity to Israel, and oh, by the way, Israel, I don't even know if y'all know this, Israel is actually known for having the most data leaks. The Israeli tech companies, they're known for it. So it's not even like it's a safety, like, oh man, our data will be safe over there. No, they're always getting attacked. It's a slippery slope, y'all. Whitney Webb said, let me see if I can find her tweet too. Because she said something in 2023. Damn it, I don't have it. But she said something in 2023 to the effect of, this is what they want. Because it was around the time, I want to say it was around the time that Elon was buying it. She said, this is what they want. They want ID verification. They want you to do your banking through them. They want you to do your communications through them. They want everything to be funneled through through your social media and through one social media. She predicted it perfectly. And I'm not even sure that Elon had completed the buyout process yet. And what did we get recently? Elon's talking about the banking system on Twitter. ID verification. Everything that she was talking about. It wasn't just Whitney, I know, but Whitney Webb is pretty spot on when it comes to these things. It's just weird that like Elon is so predictable that Whitney could say something like that in August or June of 2023. And he just proves her right, like almost like he read the tweet. Y'all, this Unit 8200 is dangerous. Any alumni that's created, like any companies created from the alumni of this organization have been problematic. The fact that we can't even hold them accountable is problematic. The fact that we just witnessed Netanyahu sitting in front of the world and threatened a bunch of people. Oh, you gonna support the ICC sending out arrest warrants for me and my people? Got something for you. And then Elon comes out and is like, yeah, man. So if you make any money off of Twitter, so you gotta give Israel your information. That's really coincidental. Like you announce that right now. After both the United States and some people in the UK and specifically Netanyahu comes out and threatens people who are supporting the ICC arrest warrants. You're like, yeah, man, give Israel all your information. Good luck. Because it isn't everybody, but it's the people with the most prominent voices that would be the ones. So it coerces you into doing one thing. You play ball, you shut up, or some people who are making a good chunk of money off of Twitter decide to just, in a time where the economy is trash, which sucks, they're going to have to make a decision like, do I just say fuck it and not make any money? Or like they can't afford to do so because they're running a business and they either temper what they say or they keep going and just take the risk of knowing Netanyahu wants your head on a spike and has all your information. And more importantly, the information of your family. And if you're a single person somewhere that can move from place to place, that's not maybe that big of a deal to you. But a lot of these people have families. They can't go nowhere. This is the same Israel that literally kills the families of journalists. Not just journalists, but the families of journalists once they figure out where they live at. I wish I could remember the name of a guy. So this Palestinian guy, Ajama was talking about this. He arrived in Michigan. No, it wasn't Ajama. I was on with Garland Nixon. I'm actually going to be on there today. Critical Hour with Garland Nixon and Dr. Wilmer Leon. And they were talking about a Palestinian academic who arrived in Michigan, bro, and they just arrested him on site. They knew he was going to be there. They arrested him on site and detained him for hours, like 12 hours or some shit, because they knew he was going to be there. So, yeah, just because you're like, oh, I'm not in Gaza, so I'm safe. No, you're not. What are you talking about? People disappear in U.S. prisons. People get suicided all the time. You can only be protected, like, yeah, we know basically any information is everywhere on Twitter. But, all information is everywhere on the internet. If you really look hard enough, you can find it. I get that. I understand that. But, like, not all of it's up to date. Can we at least make it a challenge for them to find people who are dissidents? Can we at least do that? But what Twitter is asking for is, in the middle of one of the most controversial, I can't even call it a war, genocides, in the middle of what looks like to be, we're on like the brink of World War III, but like it won't be a secret anymore type of situation, because that's kind of how it was with World War II and even World War I. It was like there was a war being fought, but it was like a secret until it wasn't. So we're on the verge of this publicly fought World War III. We're witnessing the ICC and the ICJ finally get some balls to some degree, and countries are actually finally starting to call out Netanyahu. And also, but the other side of that is the empire is beginning to get a little bit more violent. And you were like, yeah, give them all your information. Give this genocidal nation. Can you imagine if like Iran, for example, a tech company like this in Iran wanted to work with Twitter and Elon said, yeah, because he's like, oh, I'm just worried about getting the best company. Could you imagine? They would lose their minds. The West would lose their minds. It would be headline after headline after headline. Especially if they were in the middle of an open genocide. They complain because Iran is too religious. They're like, oh, it's theocracy, whatever. That's not my problem. That's not an ego issue. That's Iran needs to figure out what they want to be. That's up to the people. But you can't be too religious, supposedly, even though we have like this hyper religious fucking extremist Baptist United States. They use Jesus to justify every crime they commit for whatever reason. But, if you're Israel, you can commit a genocide and whatever, it's cool. We can give you all information. China can't have the name Communist Party, without the United States trying to shut down TikTok because they might have access to some of our information, which there's actually been, once again, no evidence of. They went through all those hearings. Remember, they had found no evidence. But because China has communists in their name, in their party's name, it's a problem. Not committing genocide, just the name. Gotta get rid of TikTok because of that. But Israel's literally committing a genocide, killing journalists, targeting them, targeting their families. And they're like, yeah, but it's cool, man. It's whatever. What a day, boy. What a day. What a day. Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of For the People podcast. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. Like I said, if y'all have not yet, make sure to donate a little something to this fundraiser for Diane. I'm going to post the link, the GoFundMe link, in the chat, so you don't even have to go to the description. Boom. Like I said, in case y'all don't know, Diane is a young woman here that the community in Brazil that the community is working with to raise money because she was sold by her mom at 13 for land, literally. I'm just not hyperbole. And then the guy that she was with forcibly impregnated her. Yeah. It is exactly what you're thinking it is. Like, wow, that's kind of young. Yep, that's what happened. I think she just turned 26 actually. But her oldest daughter is 11. So do the math. Yeah. Can't read, got the hell beat out of her all the time. She was able to escape. And so, since she's arrived here, and at least since I got wind of her story, You know, I just felt like I had to do something about it. Had to do something because this story's sad. You know, she got 5 kids, and for those of you who have kids too, y'all know like that kind of stuff weighs on you. From the moment I heard her story, I'm like, yo, this is too much. I'm over here having nightmares. Like, damn, what if my kid gets kidnapped or something? Like, just the trauma that she has to endure, has already endured, the trauma that the kids have to get past. The least that we can do is just help to alleviate the financial burden that she'll have to deal with also, so that she can deal with her life and kind of hopefully get to live with some semblance of normalcy. So appreciate you guys. Everybody who's already done it. We're already more than halfway to our goal. Y'all are dope. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.